Reference to an assignment that I'm working on, I actually did my first Wikipedia editing today, Wikipedia editing. So I'm really excited. In my senior year at Thomas Edison State University, and I actually always wondered how Wikipedia was free to the public to go in and edit definitions, and which is why I haven't used it for the most part as a source citing beyond my own curiosity. Upon reading my text for my public speaking class, I actually found out that a lot of the people that do the edits there are scholars. You are able to edit if you want without logging into Wikipedia, but your editing without doing that login will allow them to trace your editing back to you via IP address, which uses a specific code tied to the computer that you're using. Anyways, check it out. My first time editing on Wikipedia. So, in reference to one of my readings for my public comm class, I'm like, okay, so it used the word tangent. So I'm like wanting to use a lexical definition. There are two types of definitions based on this same class: lexical definitions and persuasive definitions. So for the lexical definition, you can look up the word lexical if you like. I like this word, the use of the word tangent right here. It didn't make sense. So even, I mean, it did make sense in my head, but I wanted to re-verify or double check, if I may. And so in doing so, I was able to find out some really exciting information. I remember it back in school here. I remember which high school I was going to. I remember my first encounter with tangent in the geometrical form, in the geometrical format. Um, so I found the definition here, and then when I first found the definition, mind you, the use of it is here is first right there, and so I'm like, okay. When I looked it up, and it's talking about tangents in public speaking, so I'm like, well, that doesn't relate to geometry or physical contact. So, and I'm looking at, and then like dictionary.com has this advertisement here. And so I'm like, I thought that was the end of the definition. So then I'm going back and I'm like, that can't be the case. There has to be another definition. So then I keep like searching and I go back. And so then I go beyond the advertisement and I realize there's several more definitions there, including the noun formats beyond the adjective formats, and the seventh definition, idiom definition, which makes sense, which makes me think of the way I was thinking of it anyway. So now, with this definition, idioms on at a tangent, digressing suddenly from one course of action or thought and turning to another, is what my course was talking about in public speaking. Now it makes sense. So, also, I figured, since in a recent section in reference, or the following section, beyond me finding that information, link current knowledge to new knowledge is the next section. It talks about Wikipedia and how if anyone's able to edit there, and how a lot of times scholars edit there on Wikipedia. So I've always wondered, because it says a lot of college students uses Wikipedia as sources, and I had one professor tell me early in my college career, or I've read it in a book, don't use Wikipedia. So I never have, even though I use Wikipedia all the time for my own personal searches. So now I was able to realize how Wikipedia is usable and editable by anyone, which is why I don't use it, because I'm like, any random strange person can go in and put like some random or wrong definition, and now I'm like quoting it in my paper and I'm looking like a dumbass or whatever, and I don't want to be doing that. So anyways, I just needed the confirmation to know what was going on with Wikipedia, and now I know. I told myself I'm gonna do an edit, and so now I went to Wikipedia, and its definition of tangent as well. This is what we're looking at. And so I'm editing the definitions because I wanted to know how it works. So it allowed me to do so without logging in, because I decided not to log into Wikipedia, even though I think I've logged in once because I began this process before but never completed it. So now I'm completing it, and it's allowing me to do it without logging in, but it tells right here, your IP address will be publicly visible if you make any edits. So when you look up IP address, you know that we already know, like most people that study any type of basic computers know that what an IP address is, but just for a brush up on knowledge, IP address is a unique string of numbers separated by periods that identifies each computer using the internet protocol to communicate over a network. So now we know what an IP address is. And so back to the Wikipedia definition, I was able to go in, and again, I'm editing tangent. So I identify myself. I said, this is Davon Chadewick White of Davon Chadewick White Incorporated, a real estate, music, and think tank company. I am in my senior year at Thomas Edison State University, and obviously I still have to do some more editing, and wanted to explore how Wikipedia allows anyone free editing, quote unquote, capabilities. Now I have experienced how it works, so that you won't think I am on a tangent. According to the 7th definition of the word at www.dictionary.com, I retrieved the definition of tangent there in reference to a reading for one of my courses on 1/5/19. The idiom 7th definition, beyond its adjective, noun, geometry, or trigonometry definition is idioms of, on, at, a tangent, digressing suddenly from one course of action or thought and turning to another. The speaker flew off on a tangent as the example, which is exactly relevant to how the word was used in my public speaking COM 209 reading. I almost went on a tangent, and I'll need to put that in quotes. Again, since that's the subject word for today. And I'm gonna add the comma inside of the quotes, even though I mean periods, and I'll talk about parentheses. You'll learn those rules on your own. I'm not teaching English, but periods, you can put the period inside or outside of the parentheses, but I think the comma has to go within the quotes. But because I'm using the comma that's not part of the definition, I'm gonna put the comma in brackets since it's inside the quotes. When I couldn't find a definition beyond the geometric one, and you can find out about brackets as well in one of those college courses, or maybe prior to that in high school, since it wasn't relative to my understanding, or seek and you shall find, I need to add that as well, or the seek and you shall find principle. I used about gaining understanding. And as in its biblical outlay, it works. So I won't go on a tangent about my new company, but you can check it out at www.dcwdcw.com. In reference to architectural design, I can use a geometric definition of tangent. So that's kind of exciting. Anyways, I just wanted to post it. It's kind of exciting, guys. I did my first Wikipedia edit today. This is Davon White, and I'm excited. I did my first Wikipedia edit today. Thank you. Yes. So yeah, it's really exciting, and hopefully you guys check out my other videos. I have 500 video clips on YouTube. Hopefully you'll tag and like it there. Thanks. Also, you can check out my company, which is a little bit different. Hopefully this is not tangential, because they actually did use the word tangential. Publish changes. Let's see how this works. And there we go. We have it. There's the definition, and there's a geometric, pictorial, pictographic depiction. The tangent is definitely that point where the straight line hits the circular line or the curved line in geometry. But in reference to, again, public speaking, I was not referenceable. So let's see if with all of this, and this is not my topic of discussion, or this is not my major, these numbers and I guess engineering numbers or something. I did see something similar to these numbers. I've actually read some numbers similar to these recently in an engineering book. I won't go so far as to read enough to understand them yet, since I'm working on some other stuff. But let's see, did my definition go in? I don't even know if it went in or not. We're about to find out. Oh, there it is. External links. It's in the external links section. Cool. So, as we can see, anyone can edit on Wikipedia.com. Keep that in mind, guys, when you use you college students and high school students and middle school students, early age students. And I know that there are different types of students and titles of those students and school grades in different states and different parts of the country. Whatever your title is as a student, just be respectful of your professor or teacher's design or requirement for using that particular sourcing. Just one option for how to use it. So yeah, it's really exciting that I was able to do that. I hope you guys have a great night.